Awesome. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to be talking this evening about insulin resistance and maintaining a healthy blood sugar levels and why that's important. It's been on the rise in the United States, insulin resistance, and I wanted to share with you a little bit about what you can do about it, why you would want to do something about it. And of course, I'll share with you some information about patches and how and why they help the body in those ways that we're discussing. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Just want to let you know and remind you that we're not doctors. We're just here sharing information, not giving you this information as a prescription or anything, but I'm sharing you information that I've gleaned from other doctors and information about the test results from the patches and things. But I want you to, of course, use your discretion and creating a plan of action on what you want to take from this information. So let me share my screen and okay, so tonight we are talking about insulin resistance and the effects on our blood sugar. So this statistic shocked me. 88% of Americans have some form of IR or insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, we'll explain that in a minute, but it increases the risk of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and other brain health issues like dementia. It releases inflammatory hormones in your body like adrenaline and cortisol. So it kind of keeps you in that fight or flight mode, which of course um, prevents you from healing because you heal when you're in that rest and digest mode. Your brain deteriorates with that additional inflammation. And this is interesting to me. When fat tissue is growing, it's releasing pro-inflammatory substances into your body. Oh my goodness. So, I have a friend who is a gastroenterologist, and his business, and I highly recommend him if any of you need a doctor who can work remotely. He loves to meet in person at first, but then it can work remotely after that. But his specialty is insulin resistance and helping people. But if you notice this, the root cause of all of these issues, these health concerns on this tree are is insulin resistance. So if you can get to, and normally in traditional medicine, they'll send you to a specialist for most of these. You'll be a different specialist for your high blood pressure than for your dementia. There'll be a different um, uh, somebody different for a fatty liver versus migraines. But what if you could attack the root cause of these issues, and then these issues just go away? How about that? So this is a thing that I got from him. So causes of insulin resistance is can be emotional or physical stress, like in the case of my friend who had a heart attack or even an accident, a car accident. That surge of fight or flight hormones can put your body in a more insulin resistant state. Inflammation, too much insulin. Why would we have too much insulin in our body? Well, because of our sugar intake. Our sugar intake, I'll show you a graph in a minute. Our sugar intake has increased tremendously in the last 100 years. So too much insulin in our system, or because we are in this management system of wanting to manage that blood sugar, with injectable insulin or oral insulin, we can end up with too much if we aren't managing that carefully. And then even sleep, not sleeping or insomnia, those types of things can cause insulin resistance. It's kind of like this catch 22. These things cause the stress and inflammation, which causes insulin resistance. Insulin resistance causes stress and inflammation, which causes more disease. So it is this catch 22, but these things are some things to think about. So guess what insulin does? At the bottom of the screen it says insulin tells the body to use the sugars as a form of fuel. If there are too many sugars, it stores them as fat in your liver as glycogen, causing fatty liver disease. And it also stores it in your muscles. So your muscles and your body texture, your body composition actually gets more fat percentage when you increase your sugar intake or when you have insulin resistance. And it creates this nasty catch 22 in your body. So what is insulin resistance? Insulin resistance is the fact that your body has to produce more insulin to achieve the same effect on controlling blood sugar levels. So blood sugar is good to a certain extent. It does, insulin like unlocks the body's ability to use some of that quick energy, and it opens doors in that way. But too much starts telling your body, oh, I'm going to save that for later. I'm in a stress mode. I've got to save some of that energy as fat later. So look at these two charts. I just put these side by side. The years are a little bit different, but they have the same slope to them. So you can see that our sugar consumption in the last 100 years has exponentially increased in pounds per year per person. So back in the 1900s, even that still sounds like a lot, 40 or 50 pounds per year in the early 1900s of sugar. Well, in the early 200 or 2000s, it had doubled in the amount of sugar that we consume. And it's sneaky. You have to read the labels carefully. So if you see the diabetes occurrence within the United States has also exponentially increased. And I don't think that's a coincidence, is it? So a lot of in our current medical system, there is a a medication to treat every symptom of your insulin resistance, and your high blood sugar. And everything has a side effect to it. So down below the dotted line, you can see there's some things that we can do with lifestyle that don't have a negative side effect. They do have a positive side effect. But when you start adding other chemicals into your system, they have um, difficult side effects that actually end up perpetuating the problem, reducing your digestion and absorption of food, storing more fat, telling your body that you need to store more fat. And that is pretty detrimental to your long-term health. So these are some of the side effects that Our the medications to control your blood sugar have increasing, um, decreasing your lean muscle production and increasing your fat storage. Isn't that exactly what we don't want in our lives? Of course, making you lethargic, and causing more insulin resistance. So it's this nasty catch 22. Um, so what do we do? There are things that we can do, simple shifts that we can do when we are thinking about our insulin resistance and helping our body be the best that it can be. So the general shift and thinking about insulin or thinking about this is reducing your simple carbs. And if you eat carbs, let's say let's take an orange for an example. An orange is a beautiful, full of antioxidants, full of anti-inflammatory, but it does have fructose in it, which is a sugar. It's processed in your liver a little bit differently than glucose, but it has all this lovely fiber with it as well. So it bumps up your blood sugar, but it bumps it up slower and it takes longer for your body to process it. So it doesn't spike and crash your blood sugar like orange juice, for example, which is more pure fructose with no fiber. And so it goes through your system, it spikes your blood sugar, it causes all the negative problems with spiking your blood sugar. So if you can shift the carbs that you eat to more whole grains, and shift those whole fruits instead of juices, or simple carbs, then that is helpful. But the main um, idea here is some satiating, healthy fats that are anti-inflammatory, but they help you feed your brain. They help your body feel fuller longer and increasing protein. And here's a water. Water is amazing. It makes our bodies work properly. But here's a something that many people do not realize is that we want to get our, our body creates acids when we are digesting food. We do not want to dilute those acids. So it's super common to hear. I see a lot of people do it, sit down and drink a big glass of water when they're eating. And we think we're being healthy, but we're actually diluting all those stomach acids. So a lot of those foods they get flushed through our system. We don't get the good benefits out of it because our stomach acids don't have a chance to break it down into the elements that we need. So drink your water. Drink half of your body weight in ounces of water per day, but not before your meal or not during your meals. Drink it in between your meals. Another thing to do is think about seed oils, vegetable oils, canola oil, soy oil. Those are very inflammatory. Our bodies do not know what to do with them. And what we're trying to do here is reduce the inflammation in our body. And of course, avoid sugar if you can, plain old sugar, but avoid sugar substitutes. Those are chemicals that, again, your body does not know what to do with them, and they actually set off a negative chain reaction. Some of them fake your brain into thinking that you're eating something sweet, again, spiking your insulin. Excuse me, because your body says, oh, I'm eating something sweet, so I need to create the insulin to counteract that blood sugar. So then that's a double whammy there. You're trying to do something healthy for you, but you're not. But who knows, right? Of course, reduce snacking. Did you know that your body needs 4 hours to go through and digest and use the food that you just gave it in a meal? So if you reduce snacks, I used to be one of those people where I'm like, oh, I have to keep my blood sugar even. And I used to eat 6 meals a day and used to eat often. Every couple hours, I thought I needed to do that. Now, there is a point in time where you can wean your body to shift it and lengthen the time in between your meals and actually go back to those higher carb or lower carb, high protein, high fiber meals and with good healthy fats in them. And you'll feel satiated for longer, give your body the opportunity to use the nutrients that you just gave it, and it keeps your blood sugar more even and won't store it away as fat. If you keep your body digesting all the time and insulin surging in your body all the time, it's going to be tucking away those calories as, oh, I've got to store this for later because I don't know when I'm going to get more. The same thing goes with not eating enough calories as well. In general, you want to make sure that you're eating, and that's why I recommend those good, healthy, satiating fats and the good, healthy, quality proteins. But the you want to give your body enough food that it does not um, feel the need to tuck things away and store it for starvation mode. And then intermittent fasting. Now, this is it seems a little counterintuitive, but the intermittent fasting, we were created with a, a, a circadian rhythm. And we were created with this need to get things done during the day. Those hormones, the adrenaline and the cortisol, we need those or we won't accomplish anything. We won't get our goals accomplished. We won't do the tasks that we need to do for our work that we have been given to do. But we also need to shift into rest and digest. If your body is always has food in it, trying to digest food, but you're also having to go, you don't have that rest and digest shift. So the intermittent fasting actually does lower your blood glucose levels and it lowers your triglycerides and lowers your inflammatory markers and your C-reactive proteins. And that's giving your body a good break from eating and having to digest. So it's recommended that you stop eating a good 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed. And then you give your body a good, at minimum, 12-hour break before you break your fast with breakfast. Um, so those are just what, how, when to eat and why. And that's will have a huge impact your on your body. So I was listening to a doctor who was saying if you eliminate sugar out of your diet, these are the positive things that you will experience. And if you try it for 2 weeks, you actually lose the taste for the simple carbs and the sweet stuff. It doesn't even sound good to you anymore. But look at doesn't any, I mean, who wouldn't want all of these wonderful benefits? So this was interesting. So this was we're going to shift and we're going to talk about stress. Sugar puts stress on the body, but and in eating at those different times and different things, we can shift on how we de-stress. But this is a quote from Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, a book by Deepak Chopra. And he said, for more than 50 years, physiologists have known that putting stress on an animal causes it to age very quickly. When you place a mouse on an electric grid and administer shocks, you would arouse the mouse's stress response. After a few days of such stress, the mouse will die, and an autopsy on the tissues will display many signs of accelerated aging. So stress, we know physical, mental, emotional stress, um, but also remember that sugar and the what we eat can place stress on our bodies. So, did you know that the queen bee in the beehive lives 60 times longer than the worker bee because of what the queen bee eats? The queen bee eats royal jelly that has a bunch of wonderful peptides in it. The superoxide dismutase, SOD, is one of those um, peptides that is amazing for the queen bee. We make this peptide in our liver, but by age 30, the production of that peptide declines. And the Eon patch, spelled AEON, was developed to signal our bodies to make that peptide. And when we have this eon in our system, or that when we're wearing the patch and it's telling our body to make that superoxide dismutase, it influences our mindset, it influences our mood, it helps our bodies and our brains realize that we um don't it calms our mind. um it helps repair and regenerate damaged cells. It decreases inflammation, and those C-reactive proteins, those are the signs of stress and inflammation in our body. It's a measurable thing, and those are markers that people use for the causes of disease. SOD, or the EON, also increases DHEA, which is also known for reverse aging. Glutathione, which is one of our favorites, that helps, it's an antioxidant. Um, and and then it reduces stress on the nervous system. So it really does tell your body that you are okay. You do not have to run from that saber-toothed tiger. You're not going to be eaten. It is okay to rest and to heal. Another patching system that is great for helping your body with um, insulin resistance. This is awesome. So this actually tells your body to burn fat as fuel. Now, who doesn't want that? When insulin is telling your body to tuck that um, glucose away in the form of glycogen in the cells and tuck it away as fat, the energy enhancer is saying, oh no, you can use that fat. Let's just burn it. Burn it. 300 to 600 calories a day. So that's what happens when you wear these patches. It increases your adenosine triphosphate production, and that is that spark of energy. That's what burns the calories, gives you energy, increases your stamina and your endurance. These patches were introduced to athletes. Well, they were introduced to the Navy SEALs to help get them off of amphetamines, but then they were uh, introduced to Olympic hopefuls, athletes, and they, within the first day, many of them bested their first personal bests. So energy enhancers are mighty little patches. They turn over your lymphatic system, so it helps get the junk out of your system. And this is something that I just learned at with some research being done. Heart rate variability is um, caught, uh, being blamed or known, researched as a cause for every single disease. Um, and these energy enhancers balance your heart rate variability. So these are mighty little patches, and who doesn't want better heart health as well? Carnosine, additionally, is very good for the brain and the heart and how your body processes blood sugar. It repairs damaged cells and tissues. It improves stamina and builds muscle. And studies show that when you have carnosine in your system, it increases your cellular lifespan by 30 or 40%. So it protects the cells and helps clean them out from the inside. So this is an amazing patch to add when you are wanting to help with your so if you see that we're increasing our muscle tissue, we're reducing the negative effects of storing fat in the body, we're protecting the cells, we're making them work more efficiently, and we're helping the brain and the heart and the negative effects of high blood sugar. Glutathione also helps protect the body, and it is a major antioxidant, again, helping the liver do what it was supposed to do. So again, a lot of that glycogen gets stored in the liver and kind of prevents the liver from doing what it's supposed to do. So then it becomes cumulative. Your negative health concerns become cumulative. But if we can give our liver a signal to produce this glutathione again, it helps your body to detox. So this patch increases your glutathione production by 300% in 24 hours. You can go to the health food store and purchase glutathione as a supplement, but studies show that if you take that supplement for 30 days, it only increases your glutathione by 10 to 15%, and it has a half-life of 7 minutes. So this is a much more affordable, more efficient way of bumping up your glutathione, which helps your body's health. So the SP6 is a patch that helps your thyroid, which helps your metabolism, and it helps your pancreas to work better as well. So all of these patches, for different reasons, help your body with the negative effects of insulin resistance. And so it's proof that we can actually give your body the tools that it needs to reverse some of the problems that you have. Again, I'm not treating, diagnosing, or curing anything, but if you do more healthy things, you're going to get more healthy results. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. So these patches are quite amazing and helpful with our bodies. Insulin resistance or helping our body with our blood sugar control. I think that is it. So that's what we have this evening. Does anybody have any questions?
Good job, Cami. It's a lot of good information. I didn't realize so many of the patches were supporting blood sugar. I better be adding some more of these, like every day.
Right.
Because you know me and my sweet tooth, so I got to balance that out.
Right. And the negative effects of sugar really makes me think twice before I go, oh, is this worth it? You know, when I put that in my body, is this really worth it? You know,
Yeah.
and sugar has been used to, it does give you a boost in your mood, but then that crash is a depressant, and then it boosts your dopamine, but then you need more to boost your dopamine and boost your mood the next time. So it is a crazy addictive. So
Yeah. And all of those food manufacturers are really good at getting us addicted to their bad stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure. For sure. Well, excellent job. Any other questions, guys? before we wrap it up? Well, we sure appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. And we hope you'll be back next Monday or Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Thank you,
And
Cami. That
yeah,
was great.
My pleasure.
great job. Loved it. A great topic for my whole family. So I'm going to be sharing this recording. That's for sure. And of course, these do get posted on our YouTube channel. So please feel free to check them out there. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank
Gonna
you.
go ahead and stop
I'm
the
so sorry
recording.
again for